What's going on, 75junction? We got a special guest today. We got Alter Shiino here, and he is typically here as a guest for the podcast, but tonight he's getting his own personal interview. So, for those who don't know, you can just tell them about who you are and what you do.
First of all, I just want to say it's about time that I got this interview.
Oh, it's about time?
It's about time. It's been about time for people to know who the champ is.
Well, all right, man. And when you say the champ, in regards to what? What are you speaking of?
All right, let me explain this whole
backstory.
Now I'm gonna explain this whole champ thing because I see a lot of people, they take it the wrong way.
Okay.
I am, yes, a self-proclaimed champ. And the reason why I am this is I bought this belt on the day that I realized.
Can you show people the belt for the camera?
Of course. Ain't no thing to get my belt no playtime, baby.
Where'd you get it?
Where? Mm-hmm. Oh, this Walmart, baby.
Oh, okay.
It's Walmart, $17.99, baby.
I got you.
Yeah, we bought them on a budget.
Okay.
But no, I got this belt. I self-proclaimed myself a champ on the day that I got this is because this was the day that I decided I don't care about what nobody else thinks. So that makes me a champion in my own right.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, do I feel like I'm the best photographer in the area? Yes, I do. Do I feel like there's competition in the area? No, I don't. Because I don't look at other photographers. I don't entertain other photographers. It's not that other photographers are not good. I just don't see what they're doing because I don't follow them. I don't like their stuff. I don't share it. It's not that there's a reason why. I just have to concentrate on myself at the end of the day. So
it's not like there's any animosity or anything like that. It's just...
like I love like a good 97% of all the other photographers in this area. Like we're cool. We're pretty good people, but I don't want them to take it personal when they check their following list and I've unfollowed them or whatever the case may be. It's not that I have an issue with you. I just have to work on me. And I see that a lot of other photographers work in the area is starting to look the same. And I don't want to fall into that category. So that, that's just my reasoning behind it. Like,
okay.
And on top of that, I'm not gonna call them fans, but my supporters, they kind of gas my head up on an everyday basis. They love my work, and I love them for loving my work. Shout out to y'all.
That's good, man, because it's difficult to get support in this area. So the fact that you're able to garner that support and get the people behind you is definitely big and powerful.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how long you been doing photography now?
I actually just hit 2 years 2 days ago. That was my second year anniversary. And shout out to everybody who bought a picture on Shiinoversary. I appreciate y'all. That meant a lot because it has not been easy as easy as I make it seem. Like learning what I know within that 2 years, it took a lot of work, a lot of, hey, your work is garbage, nigga. Like it took a lot of that for me to get to where I'm at now. But I appreciate it, especially coming from my mentor Long, who was on the podcast with us a couple of days ago. Like we had to talk the other day.
A couple of weeks.
Yeah, it was a couple of weeks ago. But now we had to talk the other day. It was on the anniversary. He was just like, bro, you came a long way. He was like, that day we met up at Starbucks and I was looking at your work. I was about to tell you, hell no, get this garbage shit the fuck out of here. But he was like, he saw the potential. So that's what made him stick with me. He saw the work that I was putting in, the hours, the hours of YouTube and like the calling him whenever I had a question, anything. He was like, that really meant a lot to him that I was actually putting forth the work. So that's what made him stick with me. But now he's on that BS saying that I will probably surpass him in the next 3 to 4 months. But you know Long now, and you know this nigga always got some high-tech shit up his sleeve. So that as soon as I get here to his Itachi level, he gonna Sasuke my ass and be like, nah, nigga, like you're not ready yet. So I already know that that's coming, but I love that, man.
I feel like it's got a lot to do with, I mean, obviously the more technology you have, the more that you can do.
Yeah,
but I feel like finding your niche with what you have will kind of propel you further and help you do more.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that definitely plays a part because that's another thing that I noticed with a lot of the other photographers in the area. They're still searching for what's them. Like you will see them 1 minute doing landscape photography, then the next minute they're portrait photographers, the next minute they're high fashion photographers, and they don't know what they want to do, and that can hinder you because those are all 3 different types of techniques. Like you can't say I'm a portrait photographer Tuesday and then all of a sudden you're a nature photographer on Friday because it's so much that you have to learn within that portrait photography at the end of the day. So with me, it took me like a year and a half to figure out where I wanted to go with it and be more of a portrait photographer. But ever since that moment, that's when I was able to zero in and figure out what I want to do and learn my posing a little bit better, learn my composition a little bit better, learn what makeup artists work for me and what makeup artists don't work for me, things of that nature. So it goes back to the fundamentals at the end of the day. Like you have to know. Well, I'm not going to say it's fundamentals because my fundamentals are a little bit differently. With me, I like to visualize the whole shoot in my head before I actually execute it.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of other photographers would rather go on set and create while there. Like, and I commend those that can do that, but I'm just not one of those type of people because if the photo shoot failed for me, I'm cussing everybody out. So that's just how I operate. So
right. Okay, cool. So do you feel like people could be multifaceted when it comes to photography as far as what they do?
Yeah, absolutely. Like for instance, like there is not a facet in photography that he cannot do. Like there's things he don't like to do, but he can do it all if he needs to. And that's where I want to be like eventually. But as of right now, I feel like portraits is my lane right now. Like like the most flattering thing I've ever heard in terms of my creativity, somebody just said it on my live, is people call me a young Hype Williams. Like that, when people say that alone, that makes me want to edit for 10 more hours in a day. Like granted, I don't have that many hours in a day, but it shows that my work is paying off because people are recognizing, like obviously Hype Williams is one of my aspirations. Like he inspires me probably more than anybody else. And the fact that people notice that means that I'm on the right path. Okay. So that's how I look at that.
So you initially did photography and you still do photography, but you've also started dabbling in videography. So what kind of drove you to that and what have you learned in doing that? Like, do you prefer that over photography or which one do you like to do the most?
So definitely photography is always going to be over videography for me because I never wanted to do videography. I never wanted to do it. But granted, some situations happened with my bro Full Metal Parkers, and he needed a videographer to step up. And he was just like, I'm going to teach you everything that you need to know to shoot my videos. And then we just leave it at that. Like we just shoot my videos. And that's how it started. But then I shot one commercial for one of my photo shoots, liked how it came out, and my creativity shows a little bit more in the videography than the photography at times because it's like people can grasp the concept. They don't have to try to figure it out because they're seeing what's going on.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I'm still not a fan of videography. I just like how it helps the creativity bloom. It's a good secondary to the photo shoot. Okay. That's how I look at it. But I do like it though. Like it's just not something that I would dive completely into, like not all the way.
Now, do you feel like it's going to be necessary for you to somewhat dive entirely into it because you do plan on filming a movie? So do you feel like, or short film, I should say. Yeah. So do you feel like that's going to be kind of pivotal in gaining what you need for that?
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Like when I took on that role of deciding that I wanted to do this short film, I knew nobody else can shoot it for me because nobody else is going to shoot it how I want it to be shot. So granted, as much as I don't want to dive into videography all the way, I still have to put that research in and those research hours in just so that movie can be what I want it to be.
I got you.
Because like I tell me and my manager, we have these conversations all the time. There's no such thing as half-stepping with us. So if we're going to do it, we're going to do it all the way. So when I decided nobody else is going to shoot this movie, then I had no choice but to start shooting video to practice for that. That's mainly the reason why I'm pushing video so much now, is all practice for that moment, strictly for that.
Okay, I got you. So what's your favorite thing to do with photography? Like what's your niche, I should say? Like obviously you're a portrait photographer, but what do you look at and what inspires you to do a portrait?
I think I'm more drawn now into the lifestyle side of portrait photography, only because it's no limit to what you can create with a person's lifestyle. Like I like for instance with the March Madness thing that's going on, I found myself getting too comfortable with how I was shooting. So that's why I developed the March Madness idea, where it's I don't know what concept the model is choosing. They don't know what concept that they're getting until they choose a number 1 through 10. And then a concept just sporadically appears. And then that's the one that we have to do. Like, so it's taking me, they're still all lifestyle concepts, but it's like on the fly, you have to get these things to make that lifestyle come to life now, because it's not their lifestyle, it's not my lifestyle. And granted, the first one, I mean, you was there for it. It came out phenomenal. Like, right. I if I must say so myself. And the one that's coming up soon, I felt like that was one that was very far-fetched, but I feel like I did this to push myself, so I have to figure out a way to figure it out. That's right. The only way that I'm going to progress. So, but like I said, lifestyle is definitely there. I like street photography as well, but I kind of steered away from it. That's where I started. But then it just seemed like everybody started being street photographers, and I'm just like, yeah, let me get up out of this pack before I fall into this wave. Like, I'm definitely not trying to do that. So that's what pushed me into the lifestyle range. Actually, Shea helped me develop the lifestyle shooting style as well. Like, with some of the stuff that we were doing with brand shoots and whatever the case may be, we took it from a typical shoot and made it an action shoot. Like, instead of somebody posing by a waterfall, let's walk past the waterfall. Let's whip our hair at the waterfall. Let's do whatever to make it more lifestyleish, to make it more lively. Like, because to me, a photo can get boring very quick if you don't have that wow factor in it. And that's what I was lacking last year. Like, none of my photos, they look great. Quality was great, but it was just like, okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? So after that, I'm like, nah, I gotta step this game up a little bit. Can't be the champ and be out looking like the rest of these niggas out here. So
right. So do you subscribe to the notion that a picture tells 1,000 words?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I feel like if you can look at my picture and it don't make you wonder what is the meaning of this, or try to put together a storyline, then I haven't done my job. That's how I feel with my personal selection of photos. If you don't have to think about it, I didn't do what I was supposed to do. Like, I don't want my photos to be like, oh, like the picture of China, for instance. I don't want people to look at that picture and be like, it's a girl, it's flowers, and it's a butterfly. Like, that's boring. Like, as great as that picture is, to me, it's boring. Like, if I would have shot that picture again today, I would have China running in that same field with the butterfly still, because then it's just like, okay, what is she running from? Or where is she running to? Or what is going on? Like, that's how I would have shot that picture today. So it's just the growth factor. Like, I got you. You know?
Okay, cool. So in regards to doing photography, do you feel like you've kind of spearheaded some of the concepts or some of the styles that are around in the area?
Kinda, sorta, yes, and then kinda, sorta, no. I say that strictly because coming in, even before I could call myself a photographer, I always followed Brandon Waffle and Kay Bowett. Those are two of the photographers I've always like just looked at their stuff because it's just aesthetically pleasing. So I kind of feel like my style spearheads more towards them than what the local area has. Like, to me, this area, and there's nothing wrong with it because it's dope, but I feel like everything here is high fashion, urban, like trying to get on Tumblr or viral on Twitter. I feel like that's what this area is so based off of. Versus me, I don't care about that. I want the Vogues and the international platforms and the things of that nature. That's what I want. I could care less about 1,000 retweets on Twitter if I could get my stuff posted in a museum instead, which I have done that. So I would prefer that versus 1,000 retweets or whatever the case may be. And I think that's where the difference comes into play between me and other photographers here. But then in their defense, they also are much younger than me. I don't know too many photographers that are my age, honestly. Like, maybe one or two. The rest of them are like graduates of 2013 or 2012 or whatever.
Now, do you feel like that has a lot to do with them, not even necessarily them, but kind of thinning the herd in regards to who's built to be a photographer and who's not, because obviously in doing it for a certain amount of time, you either know it's for you or you know it's not for you.
Right. I do feel like that comes into play, and I also feel like social media kind of brainwashes their thoughts of creativity, because it's like if you see a person take a picture of, you know, whatever, and you're like, oh, that's dope. As much as you say you're not gonna try to do that same look, you're probably gonna end up still trying to do that same look, or you're gonna try to figure out what angle did they shoot at, or what aperture was that they shot at, what anything. And that's what, when I started thinking like that, that's when I had to unfollow all of these other photographers, because I'm like, I'm not gonna base myself off of them. Other than, like I said, the two people that I've idolized forever. Those are like the only two photographers that I still follow. But as far as local, like I said in the beginning, it's nothing personal. I just can't. I refuse to fall into that camp.
Okay. Now, do you feel like people lack creativity in the area? I mean, some people will argue that it's difficult to find venues and things to shoot in this area. They think that the area is not built up enough. So how do you find your inspiration? How do you find your creativity?
See, my thing is with that, to me, that's an excuse for when people say that this area is a lack of creativity. And it goes back to when I do my shoots and people be like, yo, when did you go to New York? When did you go here? I'm like, I didn't. Like, of course, well, now I have, but back then it's like I didn't. I shot this on Warwick. I shot this on Jefferson. I shot this here. I shot this at a tree at Yorktown Beach. Like, it's what you make it at the end of the day. Like, if you walk past something and you be like, oh, that's just a boring bush, and that's what it's gonna be. Like, you're not gonna, your creativity's not even gonna turn on and start chiming because you're already stepping into it with a negative mindset at the end of the day.
Right.
Like, a lot of my creativity and how I base my creativity started with working with Jerry, honestly. Like, watching him, how he can watch 20 seconds of an anime and turn that into a whole video. Like, that is, to me, making something out of nothing. And the fact that he can recreate some of those anime scenes with a $40 budget, like, it's just working with what you have, honestly. And I feel like I've truly mastered that. Like, at this point, like, we've done probably at least 15 photo shoots in your space alone, and nobody knows that we're in the same spot just because of how it's shot, right, or, you know, how the angle is, whatever the case may be. So, like I said, it's what you make it at the end of the day. Is saying that is nothing here to create is an excuse, because you going to New York ain't gonna make your creativity no much better. Because I'm sure to New York people, oh, this is just a building. This is just a street, so it's no difference. We have just buildings here and just streets here. It's just what you make it. So, I don't know. That's just an excuse to me. I guess I've been doing it for so long. It's just second nature now for me. So, okay, it is what it is.
I got you. So, you said your art is in a museum. So, how did that happen, and what museum is it in?
It happened when I went to CEO 2 years ago, or was it last year? I can't remember. No, it was last year. Yeah, it was last year. We went to CEO down in Florida. And we walked past, there's an art museum that was right there in the same strip. And they were having, it was a competition pretty much, a young artist competition. And the rules were, you know, obviously you can't be published. You can't pretty much have a name for yourself. You have to be new and upcoming, which I fit that profile at the time. Okay. I called my manager and was like, do you think it's worth it? Like, cause it was a $50 buy-in. And she was like, do you feel like it's worth it? Because all I had was, I think, $75 left for the week there. And she was like, if you feel like it's worth it, then do it. So I ended up doing it. About 2 weeks later, they called me and was like, we want to feature your photo in one of the exhibits here. And it's called the Black Art Museum of Daytona. And that picture was just a throwaway picture. It wasn't even a picture that was meant to go anywhere, honestly, but it was the only one that I had that spoke what that museum was looking for. Okay. So, but they were just like, I came in second place out of the voting, because it was top 7 all got a placement in the exhibit for, you know, the rest of the year, because it was just, the exhibit was only there for that long. And I came in number 2. But I was surprised because the person that was number 1 and number 3, number 1 definitely earned that number 1 spot, but I only lost to him by 4 votes, like on the panel. And I would not have thought at that moment that I would be that close to him, because his work was crazy. Like, I don't even know how he did half of what he did, but he had a lion in his photo, and it didn't even look like it was photoshopped in. Like, it looked like he was really there. And he was like, bro, I took this picture on the beach right here in Daytona. And I'm like, that's crazy. But of course he ended up winning. And the dude that's number 3, his social media presence is so crazy that I would have thought he would have got number 1, honestly. But he didn't. But it was just dope to be collected with those people in that time, especially in their home state, for me to even place within the top 3. And I'm not known at all from there. And people had to come in and vote for my photo. Like, that meant a lot. So it was a dope achievement.
Okay.
But I'm past that now.
Now, do you feel that kind of inspired you or further deepened your passion for photography?
Definitely.
Because you saw where you were at that point in time.
Definitely.
You're like, okay, if I'm here now, where will I be in a year or 2 years?
At that moment is when I knew I was all in. After I got that phone call, I was all in from that point. Everything changed. Like, people who weren't supporters before, they saw it. And then they were just like, maybe he is going to do this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I quit my job at Bush for this camera, like, legitimately, because Bush won't cut it for me. Like, I was about to lose my sanity there. And I only found sanity within shooting. So I'm like, I'm not about to stay here and add more trauma to my life that's already going on at that time.
Right.
I'm just going to leave and do what I got to do for with my kids with this camera.
And what camera did you end up getting?
At that time, I had just upgraded to my 80D at that time. So I wasn't even into the Sony world yet. Like, I was fresh off my first camera was my T6, which, Lord knows, it got the job done. But y'all photographers that's still working with T6s and making it work, kudos to y'all, because y'all got it. Because I just could not. It does not shoot well enough for me. And that's another way how I knew how my mind was working and how I visualized the image to look. If it didn't come that way, I would throw a whole photo shoot out. Like, my manager would get so frustrated. Like,
you do it before.
Yes, too. Like, she was like, you cannot throw a whole photo shoot out. I'm like, yes, I can. Like, this shit is garbage. I'm not putting this out. So that's what led to me ultimately getting the ADD. And I probably only had the ADD for probably 5 months. And then I earned enough money to get my Sony. So once I went to my Sony, it was no turning back from that point. Like, and the scary part is, like my mentor said with my Sony, I probably am only 7% of my potential with this camera. And that's just crazy to me, because I feel like, damn, like, this shit is great. Like, this is top tier. He'd be like, nah, nigga, you don't even know what you can do with this camera yet. Like, that's the scary part about it.
So what do you feel like you need to do to find out everything that you can about the camera, for one, and two, tap into that latent potential?
I feel like it's just the research, honestly, like just sitting down and learning the mechanics of the camera. Like with this camera specifically, and any camera after, it's a lot of mechanics that's within it. And
the menus are huge too.
Yeah, definitely. So it's just all in you figuring out your perfect setting, your perfect exposure, your everything. Like, you just have to figure it out. So it's like, it's research, but it's also to your liking at the same time. That's what kind of makes it a little difficult, because it's like, you see a picture and you want your images to look like that, but your settings does something different.
They
but
don't
you want
that.
Right. So, but you want your settings to be where they're at, but you want your picture to look like this. So it's like, you just got to figure it out.
Okay, interesting. Now, do you feel like it's more of a preference or brand loyalty when it comes to the camera, the brand that you use, whether it be Canon, Sony, Nikon?
At first,
no.
At first, I was just like, other brands just suck. Like, at first, I was just like, Nikon sucks. Like, you know. But now that I know what I know about cameras, to me, when I see a photographer make something work with a Nikon, I feel like they're more sound fundamentally photographer, because Nikon doesn't shoot sharper than Sony. It doesn't have the color coordination of a Canon. Like, so it obviously falls to the bottom of the big three, if you consider that the big three in your camera world, which I do. So It's just so like now I would say it just falls with preference. Like me, I prefer Sony because it's mirrorless, and it's like with my images, once I shoot it, what I see is what I got. Versus with Canon, I would see the image in my camera and be like, this is exactly what I want to get in post, and it's nowhere near what I wanted it to be. So that's what made me go more Sony, and I'll probably never go back to anything else, honestly.
Okay, I feel that.
But we'll see.
Yeah, time will tell.
Time will tell.
So, have you ever reached a point in doing photography where you felt like you wanted to quit, or you felt like you didn't want to do it anymore? Like, was there ever a point where you were just like, you know what, maybe I don't want to do this?
I wouldn't say it's a point to where it was like I don't want to do it anymore, but I have had a couple of moments where I had these breakdowns because it's just like at times money don't come when I need it to come in terms of with the photography. So it's just like, do I stop my dream and go get a 9-to-5 again? Or like, what am I supposed to do? Because things of this nature, of course, you have to build it up. And when you have a family, it can cause a lot of arguments. It can cause a lot of everything. But it's like, what I'm learning now is every time I go through one of those situations, like where it's just like, well, you need to get a job because you need to provide, something big always comes my way. Like, for instance, there's something in the water thing. I didn't know where the money was going to come for that. And then all of a sudden somebody bought 3 prints. I feel like if I wasn't meant to be there, that money wouldn't have came. Because I wasn't asking nobody for it. I wasn't begging nobody for it, nothing like that. But it came. It ended up coming. So I feel like whatever is supposed to happen for me in this year is in Virginia Beach. Like that's my big moment. And I'm going to relish it, whatever it is.
Right.
So I'm telling niggas, if I one shot of Kanye, that's it for me. I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. I got you. Cool. So the thing that kind of gets you through those moments is those little breakthroughs and
definitely
those little small things that kind of just help push you over the line a little bit further.
Of course. And then it's like, for whatever reason, my oldest daughter Cadence, she always know what to say in the right moment for her to be 4 years old. Like when I have one of those moments, she'll just come up to me and she'll like pick up my camera and just be like, you know what, Dad, you're the best photographer I ever seen. Like, granted, she hasn't seen another photographer because I'm the only one who's taking pictures of her. So, but just the fact that she says that and she can sense that I'm having a moment, like, it means a lot. And then when Kyrie see Cadence doing that, she'd be like, she'll just come and pet my head or whatever the case is. And I just be like, bro, I'm not finna quit this. Like, my kids see that this makes me happy. And that's all that matters at the end of the day. Like, if they can see that their father is working and their father is doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing, and they've never wanted for anything, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. That's how I look at that. So.
And I definitely commend you on that, man, because it's very difficult to quit your job, your main source of income, and then rely on your dream. It's very difficult. And the fact that you're able to do that, you know what I'm saying, it's very commendable. So, you know, obviously kudos to you for that.
Hey, thanks, man.
It's obviously a long road that you have to go down, but once you get to the end of that road, everything's going to pay off and everything's going to make sense.
Definitely.
Even though it makes sense to you, the people that it doesn't make sense to, it will all come to revelation.
And that's why I try not to get as frustrated when those arguments come, because it's like they don't understand, like they don't get it. Like, so I just be like, okay, I'm not gonna keep explaining myself when I'm just gonna show you better than I can tell you.
Right.
And it's like I said, my support system is very, very great. Like I honestly cannot say that I have just friends anymore. Like most of these people are like family now. Like the U's of the world, the Shea, Leanne, Jerry, like everybody. Like if I need something in terms of my photography and I ain't got it, they'd be like, nah, fuck that, we going to get it. Like, to me, those are people that believe in you, obviously, and they see you pushing towards your craft, and they be like, nah, fuck that. Like, you need a $50 what? Yeah, don't say no more, we going to get it. Right. You need $100 for what? Say no more, we going to get it. So it's like I'm in a position where I honestly cannot complain right now. I really can't. Like, as far as that aspect, I can't complain.
Okay. Cool. Well, I don't want to take up too much time. So before we wrap up, is there anything else that you want to add into the interview?
Honestly, I just hope they're ready for the end of March Madness, because it's gonna be a crazy one.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I've seen the work thus far, and it's very, very impressive. So
Oh yeah,
more to come on that.
Shout out to Coop Chardonnay for providing the beat for this concept video that's going down March 17th.
Oh yeah, I'm in that.
Yeah, Sherman's in that. It's gonna be wild. It's based off one of my favorite animes, so it means a lot, and that's why a lot of people that was like, "Let me help you, let me help you." Nah, you ain't even seen the anime, pimp, so you can't help me out. You just can't. Just saying.
Okay, cool.
Y'all, hold on. Before we go, let me shout out Long too, because he's on my live saying, "Wow, like I haven't shouted this nigga out 30 times in this fucking interview." Shout out to my mentor Long. Y'all can go check him out at 479. He be there all the time. Like, y'all go holler at my mans, yo.
So where can people find you on social media?
At Shiino, all platforms.
How do you spell that?
ALTERSHIINO.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all my platforms. Yeah.
Okay,
Definitely.
so Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff.
Tumblr too. It's all the same. If y'all want to check out my website, I'm sure Sherman will find a way to put the link in here somewhere.
You know I got that.
You
know I got that too.
Hey man, yeah. So if y'all want to buy some prints, book a photo shoot, any of that, like it's all in that one website. Hey, I appreciate you, Alex. Alex said that my interview was very inspirational.
Hey, that's fantastic.
Hey, shout out to Alex too. Alex is creating a very major part of this concept video. Sherman's helping, but Alex
doing most of it.
Yeah, Alex is a big she's playing a big factor in this concept video. So she needs this credit just as well. Y'all go follow Alex, man. She's very entertaining.
All right, man. Well, hey, it's been a pleasure. I appreciate you coming out to do the interview, man.
Hey, the champ is out, baby.
I really wish you would take that to the thrift store.
The thrift store? Oh my. Hey, y'all have a good night.
Hey, it's been real. 75junction now. Make sure y'all follow Alter Shiino. Make sure y'all buy some prints. Make sure y'all check out his photography, altershino.com, or I'll send me the link and I'll put it in the video.
Yeah, because it's a long link.
Yeah, it is a long link. But make sure y'all check that out. All right, 75junction out.